Mengikuti perkembangan zaman di dunia perfilman semakin bervariasi, tokoh-tokoh superhero yang berawal dari karakter komik belakangan menjadi tren perfilman dunia. Bahkan menjadi film box office yang berpenghasilan tertinggi, sebut saja Avengers, Iron Man, Spider-Man, dan Captain America. Di balik kesuksesan film tersebut, Marvel memiliki peranan khusus dalam menampilkan tokoh-tokoh superhero dalam film tersebut. Dan kali ini, pemunculan Ant-Man salah satu tokoh komik baru dari Marvel Comics yang akan menjadi film box office tahun ini. Dan Nsert berkesempatan langsung mewawancarai selebriti Hollywood yang memerankan tokoh-tokoh dalam film tersebut.
Ya.
Pemirsa Nsert, apa kabar? Ketemu lagi bersama saya Pipit Kavi. Kali ini kita sudah sampai di Hollywood. Nah, sebelum saya kasih tahu alasan kenapa kita di Hollywood, kita cari dulu Michael Douglas. Mana ya cetakan-cetakannya ya? Ini ya? Nah, ini dia pemirsa nih, Michael Douglas. Tapi kayak cetakan tangannya. Nah, cetakan tangannya. Kenapa saya cari-cari Michael Douglas? Karena dia adalah yang akan kita interview eksklusif Nsert nanti di Walt Disney Studio. Jadi kita akan wawancara Michael Douglas, Paul Rudd, dan juga Evangeline Lilly. Mereka itu semuanya bintang dari film Ant-Man. Makanya ini perjalanan saya, yuk kita ke Walt Disney Studio. Pemirsa Nsert, hai, sekarang kita sudah sampai di Burbank, California, tepatnya di Walt Disney Studios. Kenapa kita ke sini? Seperti tadi janji saya, kita akan ngobrol langsung eksklusif Nsert bersama Michael Douglas, Paul Rudd, dan juga Evangeline Lilly. Mereka itu adalah bintang-bintang dari film Ant-Man. Jadi,
suatu kebanggaan dapat berbincang langsung dengan para pemain Ant-Man seperti Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, dan Evangeline Lilly. Film superhero yang berbeda dari yang lain, yaitu dengan karakter sang pemain yang berubah menjadi kecil atau seperti semut, namun mempunyai kekuatan yang meningkat luar biasa, di mana Michael Douglas berperan sebagai Dr. Hank Pym. Bagaimana perbedaan akting Michael di film yang pernah dibintanginya? Berikut mantan pasangan dari Deandra Lucker ini pun akan berbagi pengalamannya mengenai film tersebut.
alright, Michael, I must say, welcome to the world of comics and superheroes.
Thank
so,
you.
how does it feel being on board with Marvel?
It's really, it's another world. It really is. It's a lot of fun, but another world. You know, my whole career has been making contemporary movies, usually about the angst or darker sides. And so to be a superhero, to be able to have scenes where you're 30 years younger is a treat, and to have a movie that your children are so excited about before it's even opened.
So, what was it that made you become attracted to this character?
Well, it wasn't for me. I look at the whole movie, you know. So I like the family values, the issue of a guy, of a father trying to reconcile his relationship with his daughter. I like the humor that the character had, the wit. I like the fact of being a good, not being a villain, and being a good guy as opposed to some. So. And then I thought the story was just really well laid out, so it was really the combination of all.
Yeah. You film with this Ant-Man in front of many green screens and deal with so much CGIs.
Mm-hmm.
And how is that different from acting in your other movies that has a different setting than this one?
Well, you have to have a good imagination. You know, you really have to. Sometimes there's nothing there, and you have to pretend and imagine what it is, and sometimes it feels very odd, very strange that you think you are overacting, and you just hope. But when you're in good hands, and we were in very good hands with Ant-Man in terms of the special effects, the results were good.
Peran penting lainnya datang dari Paul Rudd, pemeran utama dalam film Ant-Man. Berperan sebagai Scott Lang membuatnya semakin dikenal di kancah perfilman. Kesan lain dari lelaki kelahiran 6 April 1969 ini, selain tertarik dengan karakter yang dimainkan, anak dari Paul pun ternyata menyukai tokoh superhero. Kelebihan lain dari pria tampan ini, selain pandai dalam berakting dan sukses dalam karirnya, namun tetap bisa membagi dengan kehidupan pribadinya.
So tell me, this is your first superhero movie, right? And based on one of Stanley's comic that has existed since the 1960s. So how challenging was it to bring this character to life?
Well, it was challenging in the way that any job is challenging, in that you want to do a good job and you want to make it convincing and you hope it's good. It was a fun challenge and one that I embraced wholeheartedly. And I talked to Stan Lee. It was one of the coolest things. I got to talk to him, and I got to talk to him about Ant-Man. And he was, speaking of Ant-Man and challenges, he always said that he felt it was a challenge to make Ant-Man work in the comics because you couldn't draw the scale that you really needed to see him as. Because when you draw him in a comic panel, you can't make everything else so big. And in the movie, you get to do that. And he said that, we're finally going to get to see what I always imagined the character to do and to look like, and that was really cool.
Wow. Yeah, so it's decreased size with increased strength. So how cool is that? So tell us.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Tell us what you think about this awesome concept, and how was the transformation made in the studio itself?
Well, this concept of increased strength, I kept thinking back to like the Big Bang. Where something I talked to a couple of scientists about this, where it's compressed. I forget what the mathematical equation is, but there's a mathematical equation for everything. But it's like compressed energy. Is it E? I think I've heard something like E equals mc squared. And so taking some of these ideas and putting them into that storyline. I'm sure we take some liberties, but it's an interesting character, and has kind of interesting powers to play around with that you haven't seen before. And it was really fun terrain to explore.
Wow, and I guess it was also fun to run. I mean, of course you ran. Like, was it on the spot, or did you run between those ants? What were you imagining on your right and on your left when you were doing that scene?
I was imagining running with a bunch of ants.
You did,
I was,
literally.
I'm in a suit and I'm surrounded by cameras, and I knew where we were in the. I went through the whole movie. It's like, all right, now I'm running, go, and it's all pretend, and. That was a new experience for me, but part of the thrill is knowing that the people that are going to be putting in the ants and the way it's going to look, they're the best in the business, and I couldn't wait to see what this is going to look like.
Wow.
Me running with a bunch of ants. It's a trip.
Selain dua pemeran hebat di atas, sosok wanita cantik yang menghiasi perfilman superhero, terselip nama Evangeline Lilly. Perannya sebagai Hope Fine Dining sangat berkesan ketika harus beradu akting dengan Michael Douglas. Dan menurutnya, film Ant-Man ini penuh dengan pelajaran kehidupan.
Yeah, so being the daughter of the mastermind, Ant-Man, I mean, Hope often comes face to face with her father, Hank Pym. So what was it like acting opposite one of the legendary stars like Michael Douglas?
It was incredible. It was such an honor. I don't think I knew what an honor it would be until I was actually doing it. And he just made all the scenes, no matter how intense they were, he made them so effortless. And the chemistry was really natural, and he just really has a way of bringing an incredible energy into a scene, so that when they call action, everything else dissolves away and you feel so immersed in what's happening. It was an education. Yeah.
So your character involves a lot of action, for sure, because this is a superhero movie. And I've always wanted to know, as a lady, how does a lady prepare herself for her to get up to speed with all the demands of an action movie? I mean, did you have to okay, I have 3 months to go to the gym, or what was it like? What was the preparation like for that?
I don't really physically prepare for these kinds of roles.
Oh, okay.
I like to be healthy, and I'm always the same. I don't sort of fluctuate, with my jobs. I just live healthy, and of course I had to do some stunt training. I had to learn how to box, and that was a challenge because I just don't take myself that seriously, and boxing gets very serious, and you have to really...
I've done that before, but yeah.
I kept getting the giggles. It was ridiculous. I get the giggles in the middle of my stunt, my stunt training, and my trainer kept telling me, "Don't laugh."
It's unbelievable. When I think back, I'm amazed. It's unbelievable. 'Cause baby,
Pemirsa, oke, selesai sudah interviewnya tadi, sudah ketemu Michael Douglas dan juga tadi Evangeline Lilly dan juga Paul Rudd, keren ya. Nah, sekian dulu kunjungan Insert ke Walt Disney Studios di Hollywood. Saya Pipit Kavi, sekarang kembali lagi ke studio.